What's going on, guys? Chris with the Boddam channel. This channel is all about food, fitness, and how to live an active, healthy lifestyle. All right, so this video, I'm a little bit nervous, but anyway, this video is going to show you guys how to build your back and your biceps. I'm going to walk you through a workout I did this morning. All right, and from there we will discuss other stuff and a little bit of Q&A at the very end. So it's really important to build your back and biceps because a lot of times people neglect the backside of their body or sometimes the biceps because they're just kind of frequently neglected because a lot of people like to work on the chest, triceps, other stuff. So if you work on your chest too much, you start getting front deltoid dominant, chest dominant. Of course, you start bending forward like this. And that's not good. So in order to maintain, proper build, proper posture, proper aesthetics, you really want to build your back so you can start pulling your muscles back again into proper, alignment with your human body. So anyways, I'm coming out of a bulk right now. I haven't made a video in a while for this channel. I'm coming out of a bulk where I started at 208.5 and my target bulk weight will become somewhere around 192 to maybe 193, completely lean, completely shredded, somewhere in the 10 or 12% body fat range. Always good to have goals. But on this video, the goal is to show you guys some of the stuff that I did this morning to build my back and my biceps. So if you're watching this is also a live video on YouTube right now. If you see the live button, you can ask questions and I might be able to answer them as the show goes on. Okay, so the very first thing that I do when I get to the gym is I do a proper shoulder warm-up. If you look back in Boddam history on the videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I'll show you a little bit right now what it's like. And by the way, for the rest of the workout, I'm going to show how I kind of do things. I'm not going to go through the entire sets or anything like that, but I will talk about form, the reasons why, and this and that. All right, so the very first thing is shoulder warm-up. You're going to want to take a band. I like the red band right here. It's made by Spree, S-P-R-I. If you watch the video about proper shoulder warm-up on my channel, you'll realize why I do it and how to do it. So I'll do 20 of the close, all right, like this. When I say it's like open to close, so open to close, right? 20 of those. This is all rotator cuff type stuff, and I know you guys are probably thinking, well, isn't rotator more of like shoulder stuff? And look, when you're working out your back and your biceps, like everything matters with the shoulder. Anything upper body that you do, your shoulder joint is working. So anytime I have an upper body day or I'm working out anything on the upper body, it's going to require a proper shoulder warm-up at first. So, all right, so there we go. I warm it up like this, and you'll see this on the video. Look past in my history, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I do these. I flip around. I do it this way as well. And then I do these right here. All right, like that. And then I move this thing up about here. And then I do the ones this way, like this. I flip it across my head like this. I do these as well. And then finally I turn around and I do these, all right, on each one. Now if you do that correctly, your shoulders should be pretty warmed up. The last part of the shoulder warm up is going to be basic, arm movements like this, where you're actually moving your arms up and down, your shoulder joints up and down, but you have to induce the swing with your arms, okay? So up, down, you can see that my shoulder is actually moving up and then down, back, up and down, 20 of those, and then 20 arm crosses where you alternate the elbow cross, like right there, and right there, and right there, and right there. Okay, so 20 of those, and you should be pretty warmed up. All right, so the very first thing that I did were abdominal type stuff because rather than crack right into the muscle group, I always like to warm up my abs, get my core ready to go. So the first thing I did was 20 repetitions, and I did have actual wrist wraps on me, so I don't have them here, but essentially I'm pulling it like this. I'm going to suspend myself. I'm going to do 20 of these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. All right, so get 20 of those. Immediately after that, I'm just going to do 5 side-by-side knee raises. So it looks like this. So as soon as you do 20 of those, you're going to do 5 on each side of this. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 5, 5. All right, so that's that. And then I went to 10 bench lower back extensions. I'll show you what that looks like. Essentially, like I said, I'm warming up my core, right? So I'll get a flat bench like this. Whoops. Like that. Flat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down on it. I'm going to try to grab some part of the front part of this bench underneath, and then I'm going to let my pelvis kind of dangle off right here, and you'll see the lower back extension being performed. So I'll grab a lower part of the bench, and then I'm going to go up like this. 1, 2, and notice I'm not going like this, but I'm actually extending my back up and down, contracting it, okay? My lower back, like that. Really good for flexibility as well. Okay, so once that's done, let me put this back to incline. Once that's done, I will repeat that 2 times over, okay? Very important. Then, the way I started my back routine is I want to start with something that is kind of like lacking, right? So I start with rack pulls. And to do a rack pull, there are a couple things you need to know. First, you need a barbell, okay? Second of all, you need some sort of a cage or a catcher type device that's going to put the barbell right under your kneecap, about 2 to 3 inches, okay? So my kneecap's right here, the catcher is right here, and 1, 2, about 3 inches, the barbell should be right about there, okay? Now, what I do is I do 40 reps, then 30 reps, then 20 reps. I'll do 40 reps, I'll rest a minute, I'll do 30 reps, then rest a minute, I'll do 20 reps. So very lightweight, okay? I'm ramping up to my working set. My working set here is going to be 4 by 15, all right, with a superset of something that I'll show you here on the incline bench. But essentially how to do a rack pull. And a rack pull is a lower back exercise, okay? So you might be thinking like, who cares about a lower back? It's not important, it's not aesthetic. You know, what does it matter to the entire equation? You need to support your abs, okay? If you have a nice 6-pack, you got some really good dominant abs, you have to have equally as much strength on the back part of your body, or else your body is susceptible to folding forward and you're gonna get injured on the back pretty easily. So you have to train your lower back. It's so important. Of course, it's not very aesthetic looking. If you're lucky, you might get what's called a Christmas tree in the back, but for the most part, it's not super aesthetic. If you want your lower back to be as aesthetic as possible, you really just want to lose as much fat around the sides as possible. That way, you'll get a much better V-taper, it'll look better, but don't forget, you have to work out your lower back, okay? So, I want to take my hands, I'm going to place them on the side of my knees, right about where the smooth part of the bar stops, okay? There's a smooth part, then there's a corrugated part kind of where the grip is. So right around there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this thing in the catcher, and I'm going to go up like this and go down ahead of myself while keeping my back straight, okay? And I'm going to really emphasize using my lower back to do this, okay? I don't want to pitch up around, I don't want to pitch forward too much like this. No, that's not good. I want to pitch over to where the bar is between 4 or 6 inches away from my knees. All right, so right around here and then up. So it's kind of like a deadlift, except it's not a deadlift because you're not going all the way down. So it's a rack pull, all right? You're pulling the weight from a rack. And a rack is basically what you see right here. This is a half rack. You can get a power rack, which looks like more like a cage, you know, but brace your core up and down, and that's the movement. So I was doing a 45 and a 25, 4 sets of 15, nothing crazy, right? I was just getting, you know, my lower back prepared for the rest of the workout. So that's a rack pull. I would superset that with 4 by 10, 4 sets, 10 reps of these right here, which are rear deltoid incline bench raises. So face the incline bench like this, and you're gonna wanna bring these weights somewhere around this area right here. If I do it correctly, my rear deltoid will pop out, and that's really good. Rear deltoid, for me, is part of my back. So I'm gonna go something like this. 1, control it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? So after every 15 reps you do that, jump right on this thing and do 10 reps, very lightweight. That's only a 10-pound dumbbell right there. 2 10-pound dumbbells, it's not a lot, okay? And if you're new to this exercise, I would suggest going to 2.5-pound discs. Sounds like no weight, but trust me, it's not about the weight when it comes to this exercise at all. Okay, so that's the first true exercise of the entire thing. Rack pulls with superset incline rear deltoid raises, okay? The second thing that I did this morning was reverse dumbbell rows with seated rear delt raises. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like, okay? So first of all, reverse dumbbell rows, you pick out some dumbbells. I'm gonna grab two 30s, all right? Grab them normally, and then you wanna reverse grip them. So like this, you're gonna bend over like you're gonna do like a barbell row, and then you're gonna just pull it like this with your back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you wanna squeeze your back, all right? So, if you're looking at this, you really gotta squeeze your back muscles, okay? So I did 4 by 15 of that superset of this right here, which is like a seated, bent over rear delt raise. It's more like a rear delt shrug, honestly, but imagine that this was double the weight because I was using 20s. But anyway, so I'd go over like, kind of hunch over like this and then bring it up like that. Like really emphasize using my rear delts to get up there and control it coming down, all right? Notice I'm not going out like this, but I'm more like doing a shrug almost, okay? Like that, all right? So that is really key in building a good back as well. Okay, so that was the second exercises. Then what I did was wide grip pull-ups. I did 3 sets of 5 reps with 4-second countdowns and explosions going up. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what that looks like. This stuff's actually kind of hard. So let me put this right here. And essentially 5 reps, wide grip, all right, because this is an actual pull-up, okay, wide grip pull-up. So not a chin-up. Chin-up's always hands like this, but a pull-up overhand like that, all right? Now this exercise is to build the width of the back, whereas the preceding exercises was for the lower back and the middle part of the back, okay? So middle part of the back, middle part of the body. This one's gonna be targeting the latissimus dorsi, which is more or less, you can consider it like the muscle that makes it look like wings, but it gives the width of the back, the nice V taper. This is from this exercise right here, or one of these types of exercises. This is one of them. So overhand, all right, as wide as you can. And the key is to really stay under the bar, okay? Because a lot of people can do this, but they can like flail out away from it, and then go up. You really want to stay under the bar as much as possible. So explosion on the way up, 4 seconds down. A lot of people, it'd be hard to even get 2 to 3. I don't think there's anyone out there who's going to be getting 10 of these things, but it looks like this. So essentially you tilt your head back. It doesn't mean you tilt your body back, but just your head back. And then you go up and then come down 4 seconds. Up, 4 seconds coming down. Explode up. Like that, okay? So 3 sets, 5 reps. That stuff is not easy at all. So if you can't do that there, you're gonna wanna get into a lat pull down machine and mimic the same movement. But the superset to that, actually there is no superset to that. So I would take about a minute rest between all those. I do 3 sets, 5 reps of that. Then I followed up with 3 sets of 5 reps of actual chin-ups. Now that's the one where, the grip is like this and it's a lot more close together. So it looks like that. Whereas opposed, the wide grip pull-up was like this. The close grip chin-up is like this. All right. Now this one has a lot of emphasis on the middle to upper back as well as biceps. Okay. Now this one is kind of preferred to staying, how do I say it? Not directly under the bar. I want to be a little bit tilted away from the bar. And if you do it just right, you can actually get a nice little bicep squeeze, and you can really put the emphasis on the biceps, which is really where I want the emphasis to be with this one exercise, okay? So 3 sets, 5 reps, explosion up, 4 seconds down, looks something like this, right? So I tilt back a little bit, go up, come down 4 seconds, explode. Always when you explode, try to exhale your breath. Like that. Anyway, 4 reps. I really don't suggest cheating with your knees going up. A lot of people, when they do a pull-up, you'll see their knees go up like this to assist. Try doing them the right way first, okay? So after that, what did I do? I did lat pull squeezes, 4x15, no superset whatsoever. I got into a seated type machine. Every gym probably has this. Now I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like, but you want to sit down. You want the cables to come from a pretty high position. You want to be able to sit down in a chair or on the floor, and essentially you do this. You know, you're sitting down, all right, and then you try to put your lats in line with the weight, and then you're going to contract like this. 1, 2, and it doesn't have to be really heavy weight. In fact, middle to lightweight is more preferred, so you can get that nice squeeze, right? Because it's not like a bent over barbell row where you need a lot of power and a lot of weight to it. The more weight you put here, the less likely you are to get that really good squeeze in your lats, okay? So it's all about getting the squeeze in the lats. I also don't like to induce much shoulder climb, which means when you're in this position right here, you let your shoulders go all the way up like this. I like to keep my shoulders nice and retracted, like right about here, and I let the back take all the pain and pressure, right? So I don't have my shoulders really assisting me very much on that movement. So that's a 4x15 I did that one. And then what I did, and by the way, if you're watching this later or live, please hit the like button. That would be greatly appreciated. After that, I moved on to actual bicep type stuff. I did barbell curls, which is the #1 bicep building exercise you can do with a seated calf raise. Now, I can't show you the calf raise here, but I will show you the barbell curl here. So here we have a barbell. A lot of times you want to be picking it up from somewhere that's around pocket level, right here. Of course, I'm facing you guys the camera, but a lot of times you want to be facing the mirror. But essentially, I'm going to try to pick up this thing right outside of pocket, okay? So if you're wondering where the hell do I grip this thing, too wide, too close, right outside the pocket, walk right up to the bar, hands outside your pockets, and that's about where you want to grab it, okay? So imagine that there's some weight on the side of these things. Essentially what I was doing is you know, this is considered a light day for me, which is Tuesdays. So I'm not going super heavy on anything. I'm going more for reps, right? So 15 reps here, and I'm going up, getting a good squeeze, coming down, coming up, good squeeze, coming down. I really am not making sure that my elbows travel any distance in this entire equation, right? I want to fix them, all right? And I want to just curl up, all right? Come down, and then really work on my biceps. Come up, get a good squeeze, as you can see, and then come down, okay? Come up, good squeeze, come down, controlled. 4x15 of that, superset, 4x5 calf raise, all right? Seated calf raise, which I don't have one in this gym, but essentially you'll be seated in a machine that looks like this, and it'll have little pads that go on your knees. The weight will be out here somewhere. You unclick the little hinge, and you make sure your calf goes up and down, 5 reps. I went super heavy on this. I did 6 plates, but that was that part, okay? Now, the last thing that I did for my biceps, to build my biceps, because the barbell curls are gonna build overall biceps, like just size and power, right? But what if I wanna work on things like more forearms or things like that, right? That's very important too. Like having a nice size bicep, but then really crappy forearms doesn't make any sense. So essentially what I do for that is the next exercise is going to be hammer curls, right? So I picked 25 pounds as my hammer curl weight, all right? And my superset was reverse grip barbell curls. So a hammer curl kind of looks like this. All right, from the side, watch my elbow, it doesn't travel very much, right? Elbow stays fixed, see? Now, other people, when they do this hammer curl, sometimes they go like this and their elbow goes back, that's not good. Or sometimes they'll go forward like this, oh, you know, that's not good either. You wanna fix your elbow, retract your scapula, sweep your shoulders back, and just curl like this. Get a good squeeze, come down, go up, good squeeze, come down. I did 4 by 12 of those with 25 pounds. The superset was this right here. So let me get around this one. Superset was 10, which was really hard to get. I mean, I did the bar plus 5 pounds only. It's a superset, so I'm going from one bicep thing to another bicep thing, right? So you can imagine there's a lot of pain involved with that. So pocket level again, walk it out like this. This is an overhand grip, right? And then go up, come down, all right? Up, squeeze, come down. And these, I just banged them out, man. I didn't try to go super fast, but I did not go slow at all. I was going like this pace right here. And it's basically a superset that burns out my biceps. So that was that. I'll leave it open for Q&A. That was essentially the workout. What's up, Billy? Look back at the video if you want any more clarification. You can also ask questions on this video in the form of a comment down below. If you like bot damn videos, you want to see more of them, then hit the like button. That's really important. Putting some weights away right here. But there's going to be a lot of content coming to this channel real soon. And it's all going to be driven by you guys, you know? So for any kind of questions, let me know. So the reason why I do a lighter day, the way I kind of do it now, I'm on a 5-day split. I go heavy Monday, heavy Friday. I space those 2 heavy days as far apart as I can from each other, right? Because it puts a lot of stress on the muscles, your nervous system, all that kind of stuff. So really far spaced out heavy days, which is good because if I do one on Monday, one on Friday, then it gives me the weekend of no lifting to recuperate, go back on Friday, and it's like I haven't gone heavy on, how do I say it? Go back on Monday. I haven't gone heavy on Monday since last Monday. Does that make sense? Like chest and some of the other things. And then back and bicep heavy is on Friday. So I really try to space it out really far. My Tuesdays and my Thursdays are light days of upper body stuff. And then my Wednesdays are legs. So that's essentially kind of the split that I'm on right now. On light days, I am looking forward to doing a lot more stamina and endurance-based stuff. Endurance-based meaning if you can control, as you can see with the doing chin-ups, right, or pull-ups. When you go 1 second up, 4 seconds down, that takes stamina, that takes endurance because it starts taxing on your head, your mind. You're like, oh my God, a lot of pain, you know. But to be able to control movements is half of really working out right there. I could bang them out as fast as I want. I could probably get 20 pull-ups, but you know, the amount of muscle stress and gains you can get from going more controlled and sometimes less reps is nice, right? So anyway, on my lighter days, I'm trying to go for more control, more actual squeeze of my muscles. On heavy days, I'm going for pure power. I'm going for a lot of times more compound movements, going really heavy. But you know, that's heavy to me, right? It might not be heavy to you guys, but it's heavy to me. It's heavy enough to maintain a 5-day split for, you know, many weeks, many years, many decades, right? That's just the way it is. So anyway, I'm going for sustainability. I don't try to be the strongest in the entire gym. I don't try to show off. I try to do as much as my body will handle that day and try to come in stronger the next week, right? Try or maintain. So we have a question for Billy Budavong. Says, what do you think of a shoulder arm day? Do you think that's too much work in one session? I'm on a 3-day split, back, chest, legs, and shoulder arms. So, you know, it's not a bad one. I've considered going to a 3-day myself, but my body's so used to a 5-day. If I go to a 3-day, I think it would be a lot more rest and recovery, and I might do that for like a vacation split. If I go on a 2-day vacation, 2-week vacation, I might go to a 3-day split for that because that makes more sense. It's really good for CNS, central nervous system, all that kind of stuff to actually get rest, right? If you try to hold a 5-day split, like even on vacation, it's super not a good idea. But it's one of those things. Vacation should be a good time to get less working out for someone like me. Now, if you are doing a 3-day split right now, and that seems to work for you, a lot of times a 3-day split is good if you're young, if you're just getting to working out, and if you are doing, maybe you could do a 3-day split with sometimes 2 hours in the gym each day, so total of 6 hours a week. I could see that working out. A lot of times, when I get to a 3-day split, it's almost too much recuperation for me, right? My body can be stressed twice over in a week, but you have to, like I said, space out your stuff and not go absolutely crazy in the middle parts of the week, but you keep your crazy stuff like split to each end. So a shoulder arm day, if I was going to construct a shoulder arm day, how would I do it? I would lead off, this is how I would personally program it, but I would lead off with military standing OHP, basically. Overhead press is the very first movement with extensive warm up before. I would do overhead press. I would go right into maybe cable or dumbbell shoulder press as well. And then after that, I would go directly towards super heavy dips or really heavy close grip tricep press. And then after that, I would go to dumbbell barbell bicep curls. And then I would go to like the fine tuning type stuff, like the lateral raises and the front raises and the bent over rear raises, which I put on back day anyway. And I would go into like the, other random stuff for the biceps and then the stuff for the triceps with the ropes, because you want, when your power is in your body and your calories are good and you got a good pre-workout in, you want your early parts of your workout to be the strongest parts of your workout, right? You want that last part to be, some of this other stuff that's not so labor or nervous system taxing. So that's how I program a lot of my stuff. Because can you imagine trying to do close grip, bench press at the last, exercise of your workout when your entire body's like kind of tired? Now you got to do a compound movement essentially. It just doesn't make any sense. On a programming sense, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't ever try to program stuff that way. If you're going to go into the gym, you're strongest in the first 15 to 30 minutes, so get all that really awesome muscle building workout done in the first part, and then the fine tuning stuff towards the last half. So that's what I would do if I was in your situation. Man, this lighting in this gym sucks so bad, but this is what I'll kind of look like. And what am I? I'm at 203 or 204 today, something like that. Not too bad, pretty good shreds, getting there. Imagine at 193, 194, I'm gonna take you guys along the journey with me. So if you like these live videos, okay, and you wanna start seeing a little bit more into my life, how I do it, you gotta hit the like button. It's really important. But you're gonna see me change over many weeks, not many weeks, maybe like 8 weeks, You're gonna see me change. You're gonna be like, holy crap, like that dude did it right. So, but I'm gonna take you guys with me. It's unfair to kind of do it on my own and shelter the whole thing. I'll take you guys with me, but you gotta do me a favor too, okay? You gotta interact. You got to ask questions, and you got to hit the like button. So essentially, this is where I am. For me, I'm not like an ecto, I'm not like a, I'm the middle morph kind of person. It's easy for me to gain muscle. It's pretty easy for me to lose weight. So, but it's hard for me to kind of gain weight. So, bulking is kind of difficult. So anyway, I've bulked for like a solid, what seemed to be 10 weeks, and it felt good. It felt good. I felt super strong. And then now that I'm going into my cutting phase, it's like I know strength is going to be kind of compromised somewhere. It always happens that way. And I'm looking forward to it, right? I'm looking forward to different programming, different routines. But yeah, one day I might go to that 3-day split. We'll see. It just all depends. My body can handle, double taxing a week, so that's pretty good. If your body can handle double taxing a week, the reason why I do it is because, if you hit your muscles super hard one day, and let's say 2 days later or 3 days later, they're ready again. If you don't hit them again, then you're just kind of waiting for the next week to hit them again. And the results that you can get into a year, you can get them in 6 months, like if you go double. So that's the reason why I do it, is because I want my results faster, but I try not to get anywhere close to overtraining or anything like that. And if you go into a 5-day split, that's the risk of a 5-day split. More injury, more injury prone, and likelihood of overtraining increased, right? So if you're on a 3-day split, massive amounts of recovery, but you lack on the actual stress you can put on your muscle. If your body can handle more, if you're on a 3-day split, then you're waiting a little bit longer to get your gains, right? So Billy says, do you follow macro fitting into your diet or meal planning? Essentially, yes. I don't go crazy into the MyFitnessPal stuff or any of that. I don't do that kind of stuff. I try to get, an average of 40 to 50 grams of protein per meal. I try to get that. I watch my carbs, the composition of my carbs as I get progressively throughout the day. My heavier carbs will, of course, be stacked earlier. And as I get throughout the day, they kind of get more combined towards vegetables and things that don't really stick into my body as I sleep. When I deal with fats, I'm not really counting grams or anything like that. I'm more or less concerned about the composition of the fat. Is it an olive oil? Is it a nut? Which I can't have nuts. I'm allergic to them. But before I was allergic to nuts, I love nuts. They're great. But my fats, I'm looking for composition of fats. I'm looking, are these omega-3s? Are these are these rich in omega-3s? Is it olive oil? Is it guacamole? Is it avocado type fats? Or is it sunflower butter? One of those things. Or if you're not allergic to nuts, nuts are really, really good sources of fat as well. Now, outside of that, don't ever deal with crazy oils or canola oils or fried foods, unless you are an ecto. I want to say it's the skinniest one, right? The ectomorph that needs to put on weight. You have to dirty bulk. You just have to. So anyway, some people are pressed against some really interesting hurdles when they try to get weight gain, right? A lot of people in this nation can gain weight super fast, right? But there are a lot of people that are super skinny that cannot gain weight for the life of them unless they go on a crazy, crazy dirty bulk. And in which that sense, macros should be right out the window. You should just be eating as much as you freaking possibly can if you want to get mass and bulk on you with the hopes of cutting it one day and getting an aesthetic figure, right? So anyway, that's that. A little bit long-winded rant on that. We have Ellis Cranston in the chat right here. I know this is back in biceps, but tell me how to lose. My love handles is driving me crazy and can't seem to lose anything. I've cut down on junk food and started more cardio, but nothing. So a lot of times, first of all, you're going to have to figure out what kind of body type you are between the three. Are you ecto, meso, all that kind of stuff. But more or less, I mean, if you are, having trouble losing the love handles, first of all, you have to understand that the males are going to store their fat typically in the back of the triceps, right around this one area right here in the lower back, and then on the top of the knee, right around the inside part of the thigh. So that's like the three places where males are predominantly going to store a lot of their fat. And it sucks because, you can have the best ab routine, the best back routine, but if you have love handles, it's annoying, right? So one of the easiest ways to burn fat quickest, and it's been proven by outside of running and swimming, because those are the two, like, they burn a lot of calories. But if you want something that burns calories quick and fast, you're probably going to want to look into high intensity interval training, which is known as HIIT. And this stuff is more or less back-to-back exercises with very little rest, and it's a lot of intervals where you go kind of like all out, or you go to 80% of your heart rate kind of stuff. So that's what I would suggest, because that's typically one of the only ways to do it. If you have taken out your bad fats and eliminated sugars, and you are taking out bad carbs 4 to 6 hours before you sleep, because a lot of people don't realize that's a pretty big part of it. You know what else is a big part of it too? Stress. Stress is a big part of it too. You want a lot of fat on your body, and guess what? Get stressed out a lot. Let a lot of things bother you and watch what happens, right? So you got to be able to let go of the small things in life. But going back to that carb thing, composition of carbs, you're not going to want to be eating gnocchi or gnocchi. I'm talking about pastas, breads, anywhere within like 4 to 6 hours before you go to bed, if you're starting to have this type of problem and you're not on a purposeful bulk, right? So think about those kind of things. Drink a lot of water as well. You can increase, human body's metabolism can increase naturally by 10 to 15% just by being overhydrated or adequately hydrated, which a lot of people are not. So that's important. So aim to get at least a gallon a day in your body, if not more. That's a pretty important one. But yes, taking out the sugars, that's really important. Of course, you got to do that. And then eliminating bad carbs. There's certain carbs that just have no real nutritional worth. Some would argue that could be rice and breads. And, when I do my carbs, I'm trying to really get a lot more vegetables and potatoes and beans and legumes, things like that, lentils. So be thinking on those kind of lines. Can you fine tune it a little bit more to give yourself the best chance for the summertime to not have love handles? Now, the thing is, I'm on a bulk, and this is kind of like what my love handles kind of look like. And I'm okay with it, purposeful bulk, but in about 1 to 3 months, it'll be gone, right? But my entire body will be completely different looking. So anyway, good luck to that. Ellis, if you have any more questions, please, put them in the feed. And, if you've ever seen a BODDAM video, the easiest way to get live BODDAM stuff, to be able to ask these questions and to get answers live, there will be a time in the future where I won't be able to answer every question that comes through, but is you have to hit that little bell on the side of the subscribe button, okay? And that little bell will notify you anytime that I go live on my channel, which I plan to go live a lot on this BODDAM channel, okay? So there's a subscribe button on YouTube, and there's a little bell next to it. So hit the little bell, and that'll prompt you anytime I go live. All right. JT says keto diet is to lose as much body fat as you can, or you can switch over to Boddam's eating regimen with HIIT. Yep, that's good. And hydration is a huge tip. That's right, JT. So yeah, clean up that diet. Clean up the diet as much as you can. Like my diet right now in my cutting phase is going to be a lot of like whole foods. Okay, a lot of whole foods. Yes, I'm stacking the protein pretty high, but my protein's also 97.3 beef. It's super lean turkey meat. It's extremely lean chicken. Well, chicken almost, if it's white meat, it's always lean. What I meant to say is it's not marinating in any kind of crazy oils or anything like that. Every now and then I dabble with sardines. I do whey protein powders. I do yogurt. I do cottage cheese as my main source of protein. On my carbs, I'm dealing with a lot of, like I said, lentils, beans, black beans, pinto beans, any kind of beans, love beans, and then potatoes, right? I can go kind of crazy only eating sweet potatoes, so sometimes I'll go to the white ones. And then, if I'm feeling kind of like, but I've read enough about rice to where it's like almost really not worth it, but I'll have rice too. I do like quinoa. Quinoa is pretty fun. It's a good tasting thing if you know how to spice it up right. And then on the fats, since I'm allergic to nuts, pretty much leaves me with, olive oils, guacamole, avocados, which is the same thing, sunflower butters, random stuff like that, or the oils that are naturally found in sardine cans. So anyway, thank you so much. So here's one thing about HIIT workouts is Billy Budavong is saying HIIT workouts will destroy you in a good way. Definitely look it up. Yes, they destroy you in a good way and they'll get you where you want to be. It's a little hard, in my opinion, to maintain with HIIT workouts. That's the only thing. So, the HIIT workout in my history, like HIIT workouts are fun. They'll make you sweat. They'll make you feel like you've achieved a lot in a very short amount of time, which is the overall goal of HIIT, really. But as a sustainability kind of thing, I don't think they're as fun as other things in maintaining a good physique. So I think it's good to get initially the first step done, but after that, once you get where you kind of need to be, maybe scale back on it, because they can really tax your body pretty good, So, Alice Cranston says, whatever happened to the Men's View? Love that show. Men's View is no more. It was a podcast that I did back in the day with a friend. It's just, we went in separate ways, and our ideas and our thoughts and stuff went in separate ways. Still a good guy, just went separate ways. That's all. And Billy Budavong is out of here. Okay, so that pretty much does my building your back and biceps. So I showed you on this workout today. You can go back if you want to see it, kind of how I did my programming today and why I did certain things first. One of the things I wanted to say before I leave you guys is the reason why I was doing some of this rear deltoid stuff first in the first parts of the workout is because, to me, I feel like my rear deltoids are lacking a little bit. As in, I have pretty good front deltoid, you can kind of see them. Well, the lights are really terrible in this garage, honestly. So it may, even when I'm like super jacked, it's going to look like really weird. Anyway, so I have pretty decent front deltoids, right? But my rears, they're okay too, but I need them to come out a lot more. And so I did my rears first, and I put them in the early parts of the workout. So if you're ever wondering, like, why the hell did he do it that way? It's because you always want to put something in the front part of the workout that you're almost lacking on. It could be there, like it could be a superset with something powerful, like if you're doing barbell rows on your heavy day and you still have a rear deltoid kind of deficiency, you can do, really heavy rear deltoid swings as your superset. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Any questions, any remarks, anything, don't forget to leave a comment, all right? This is gonna be a very interactive type thing. When you see me live, it's very interactive, but I aim to teach you guys at least the first half of the show. But the last half of the show, I wanna help you guys out. Last thing is, if you can't leave a comment, but you still wanna see more content, then just hit the like button and that'll be it. But big things are planned for Boddam in 2017. You're gonna love this channel. There's a lot of cool things coming your way. And like I promised, I'm taking you on my journey to getting completely ripped. We're gonna have a Hollywood Boddam thing going on right here. Anyone wants to join with me, you know how to find this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe bell. I'll see you later. Goodbye.